For this assignment, we want to explore a little bit of digital clay. Sculpting digitally, just like you would with regular clay, you could sculpt digitally with a program called Meshmixer by Autodesk. It's a free app actually, and depends on download whichever one you have. If you have Windows or Mac, you would click on the appropriate button there to download it. Now in this case, you have two different windows. You should know once you download it, you want to launch it. And when you launch it, you'll see that there is a variety of things. I want you to click on the import bunny. When you import the bunny, it'll come in an already mesh pre-made. So you could use that mesh, and what we're going to do is just work with it. Now you'll see here you can rotate by holding right click down and then just moving your mouse, and it'll rotate it on the screen holding right click. And then you can also hold right click and the Alt or Option key to zoom in and out. So that's how you would navigate. We're not going to get into all the aspects of the program and all the different things for this assignment. We're just trying to introduce you into digital sculpting. So what I'm going to do is take the select tool, and they have two different kinds of brush select, and also they have a lasso select, and we're going to select the lasso select. When you select the lasso select, you can here's a little tooltip, so throw little tooltips at the bottom. You just simply draw a lasso over the part that you want to select. We're going to select this head, and then we're going to put a different kind of head on it. And that's basically what we'll do, and we'll do some sculpting. Here you'll see if you click on the mesh mixer thing, you can or the edit thing, you can then go ahead and erase that, and that's what I did, is erased and fill. And here I'm just making some adjustments with the erase and fill tool, bulging, and some other adjustments. What I want to do is eliminate the head, and now once I eliminate the head, I can go ahead, and after I make these adjustments here, you see I'm just trying to maybe get a little higher. There's a little lip on the edge here, but I'm going to adjust that later with the sculpting. Then I accept it. So I accepted it, I took the head away. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to the top little sphere you see, Meshmixer, and this gives you a variety of different things you can select from. These are primitives. I'm going to select heads, and under heads you'll see human heads and a variety of animal heads. And I'll select this bull head here, and I'll put it on. Now you see how little it is. You just simply drag it and put it right on the mesh. You have to drag it and actually attach it to the mesh. When you see the plus sign, you know in your right place. Otherwise, it'll just put it in space somewhere. But you want to attach it to it. Here what I'm doing is I'm adjusting the size with the dialog box that appears to try to get it the right size. And you'll see a little orbit tool. That little orbit tool will also be able to do things like adjust size, position, twist it. If you click on the little white sphere in the middle of the orbit tool, you could use that to move it up and down. So here I'll just move it in a certain position, and then there's a little box on the thing that's called optimize, and what I'm going to do is select that. What that does is that kind of blends it and makes it a little more looks a little more normal with the underlying object. So if I like that, then I'll accept it. So there you'll see there the bull's head is on the creature. Now what I want to do is I want to unify the meshes, because they're two different meshes. So but here what I want to do is show you the different things you could do before I unify it. If you want to add other things, I'm not going to do that, but you could add other parts and pieces here. There's legs, there's arms, and there's, well, let me just do one here to see what it's like. We'll put I selected the ears, and I'm going to use them like wings on the back of the creature. So I'll just take that and drag it. You'll see it's again very small, so I want to go ahead and make that a little bit larger. So position it somewhere at the back there. I'll make it like a little wings or something, and I'll put it on the back, and then I'll go ahead and make it bigger to make it look a little more like it's normal for the creature. They're a little bit tilted, so I could use that little orbit tool to try to maybe rotate them a little bit to try to get it more in position, see. And so you can play with that tool, and when you add a mesh, this is again, the program's called Meshmixer, so that it takes different meshes and combines them. And there's some very sophisticated things that could be done with this, but we're just doing something simple to get you involved a little bit into digital sculpting. Now, Autodesk has something called Mudbox, and that's a very good program. The premier program is called ZBrush, used by most digital artists to sculpt with. Okay, so what I did there is I went to Edit and I selected Make Solid. And now what that does is that fuses everything together. Now I have one mesh instead of three different ones that were just joined. And now at this point, what I want to do is do some sculpting. So I go to the sculpting tool, which looks like a little sculpting tool, and I'm going to use, in this case, what I'm using is the flatten tool to try to flatten down that little imperfection it was when I first eliminated the bunny's head. The sculpting tools are really good. You can go ahead and do a variety of them. There's a draw tool if I want to put like a backbone or something. And that could even be raised higher if you want. Create almost like a dinosaur or dragon-like fin if you wanted. So you could play around and do some sculpting here. I'm not asking you to do a lot on this project. I just want you to get into this a little bit. And then this is a free app, so you could go ahead back and create other creatures at your own leisure for fun. And you could use this on, I believe this could also be used on an iPad. If not, they have one called 123D Sculpt that you could use on the iPad, which is very similar. So, and that's kind of a cool option because it makes it very portable, very lightweight, and very low on memory demands. So here I'm just trying some other sculpting tools you can explore, and this is called a bulge tool. What that does is raises the mesh in certain areas. And then it's basically sculpting would be taking away and adding. So taking away and adding. You can, in this case, I'm flattening or taking away. I was previously adding. So now if I reach a point where I'm satisfied with my sculpture, now I'm satisfied with it. Again, I'm only asking you to combine some meshes, do a little bit of sculpting, and then when you're done, take a screen capture of what you've done. The screen capture, would vary depending on what program you're using and or which operating system you're on as well. Since I'm on a Mac, I'm just using something called Grab, and you simply select the area you want to capture. You can also capture on Windows. I think it's F11 does total screen capture. But and then once you do a screen capture, you could simply go ahead and save that. As a in this case, it saves it as a TIFF. And I think in previous demos, I showed you how to then save it as a JPEG so the file's not gigantic when you upload it. In any case, you might want to take two views and actually post two different views to the assignment area. So have fun with this. I think you'll enjoy it. Again, it's a fun program, and it's a good thing to do, like I say, on your iPad just to kill time. And at the same time, this stuff is worthy of being sent to, and it's designed for that, sent to a 3D printer. There is a 3D printer at the main campus in Du Bois, so if you ever wanted to get any of these 3D things printed, just let your instructor know, and that could be done for you. So I'm just doing two different ones. You could do two, send it out. Now these are just pictures, screen captures, but you have a 3D file, so you might want to save that 3D file as well. And it would save it as a, you could save it, it would save it as an OBJ. Before we actually do that, let me just show you here. You can change the actual color for fun if you wanted before you saved it. And here you just simply drag. You go to the texture button, and you simply drag these surface textures on to create different looks. And you could do that as well. You might want to play with that. You can see you want just the standard clay looking one. There's a tan one that gives you more of a clay look to it. Now, as I was saying, to save it in the native formats, an OBJ file which can be opened in any 3D program. STL, that's stereolithography, that's to send it to a printer. These things can be checked as well to see if there's any holes or anything, make sure they're completely solid. and then it can be sent to a printer, and the printer will be able to print a little model of it for you, an actual model. And now what I'd like to do is go back to the website, and if you launch the website again, you click on the gallery button. If you click on the gallery button, you'll see all the variety of things that people have done, and some of them are quite amazing with this little app or little program if you're running it on a computer. You could see these very complex creations, and they would take obviously a lot of time, and you would have to know the program well with all the aspects that it has. And like I said, it's a free program. It could be something that you might want to do, and you can really practice your sculpting skills right on a screen. So you can see a variety of things, even hard models, ones that you would normally think of as being digital clay. What's pretty neat is if you click on one of these models, you can also download it. It says edit or download. So if you sign in, I think these are available that you could edit some of them, bring them in, cut the heads off of one thing or another, add wings, so you can use the bits and pieces.